Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
Oh, boy.
What happened?
Well, we're pretty late with this one, but I figured we might as well do it because it's still somewhat relevant and people are still asking about it.
Yes.
Of course, we got our second trailer for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
And I'm very not happy.
Let me ask you a question. Why are you not happy?
Okay. It's probably not because of what everybody's thinking. If you don't know some of the recent, leaked stuff that came out that was potentially true, but probably not, now it's looking like that stuff was probably all real. And
okay, so let's not lose. Well, let's take it step by step. Without any of that stuff, what did you think of the trailer?
I hated it.
Okay.
It was very lazy.
It was lazy.
It was
Explain.
Slap stuff from the other movies in here, and then show a bare minimum of stuff from the movie, and here's your trailer. And it's like, that's really lame. We're literally 3 months away from the movie.
So you felt it was a horrendous trailer?
I wouldn't think it was a horrendous trailer. I just felt like it was a waste of time.
You didn't think that the Ray thing was cool, though?
No, because I know it exactly what that is. And if this is what it is, we're in a lot of trouble with this movie. Really.
Okay. I like them fighting on that water barge thing. Whatever.
That was the only good part of the trailer. That's a piece of the Death Star, by the way.
Okay. And why is C-3PO's eyes red?
That is the major red flag that I am referring to. That is the thing that is going to make people go, "What the fuck?" Can I
ask you a question? Can I guess what that is?
Go for it.
Please don't tell me that something was put inside C-3PO a long time ago that the Sith used to hold on to a part in the realm. Please don't tell me he's connected to the Emperor, like the Emperor or Darth Vader put something in him to tie him to our world. You know how they said that the Sith are tied to an object,
yes,
the Emperor is tied to the Death Star or whatever. Please don't tell me somebody put something in C-3PO.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner.
Really?
Yes.
Who
allegedly? This is the plot of the movie. Apparently, according to these leaks, which if you don't want to hear this, stop watching now. But this is apparently the movie. Apparently.
So the Emperor put something in him?
We don't know who did this, but the object that they're all trying to get in this movie is apparently something called the Wayfinder, which has coordinates to the Imperial fleet that Palpatine hid after the Empire was destroyed. His contingency plan was, if we lose, just fucking flee into the unknown regions, build up from there, and then come back and just wipe everybody out.
Hey, Hayden.
What's going on?
So this mother took the whole Empire, sent them to the nether regions. They built up more Star Destroyers. They built up more shit.
The unknown regions. We don't want to call this... Yeah.
And they came back 1,000 million ships. Star Destroyers. The Empire is back.
And the Sith Stormtroopers.
Yes, because I want to point out to everybody, and I think this is a detail that a lot of people missed. If you go back and you watch the trailer and you look at those Star Destroyers that are in that lightning storm.
That's from the Empire.
Those are not First Order Star Destroyers.
Well, I hate the First Order anyway, but okay.
Those are Imperial Star Destroyers.
So the Empire is still around?
Apparently yes.
Thank God.
Which is awful. It's terrible.
That's not awful.
It's terrible.
Why?
Awful. Because we already had an in-canon explanation for where they went.
I don't like First Order.
Now, apparently, the reason C-3PO's eyes are like that in the trailer is that the coordinates to this thing, the Wayfinder, are in one of his old memory banks. and his old memory bank is stored in some sort of Imperial blockade, like a defunct Imperial blockade. Why, I don't know. I don't know when they would have done this. But apparently they find this blockade, they take C-3PO there, and they're like, okay, we're going to upload your old memory bank into you. They do this. He tells them where the Wayfinder is, which apparently it's in the ruins of the Death Star. And when they go to upload his memory bank back, like I guess his current one, they accidentally upload a battle droid memory bank into C-3PO, which turns him into a like psycho droid who steals Chewbacca's bowcaster and starts to fight the First Order. And this is all backed up because in the poster, C-3PO has Chewbacca's blaster rifle, or excuse me, bowcaster, and he has a blaster rifle.
But he's not evil?
He's apparently psychotic. Okay, this is how far we've gone with this. Is what J.J. Abrams thinks is okay.
Okay.
All right? But it gets better. Because Kylo Ren is like, well, I got to find the Wayfinder because I want that fleet, obviously. So he consults...
like a Cadillac. He wants that old Cadillac.
Yeah. He consults some alien, like, oracle thing.
What?
And she's like, yeah, I know where it is. It's on the Death Star.
Wait, back up. Now we got, like, Matrix oracles? Or
yes.
What?
Yes. It's too late, okay?
Oh.
So he goes to confront Rey on the Death Star, and apparently he beats her. He's like, haha, I have the Wayfinder now. It's mine. I'm going to go get the fleet and stuff. And then the Knights of Ren are like,
the girl. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then remember the Knights of Ren, how we were all like, hey, we want to see them. Well, they go, hey, Kylo Ren, we don't like you anymore.
Wait, what?
We're actually servants of Palpatine.
Wait, what?
So they take the Wayfinder, and guess what?
What?
The Wayfinder is the thing that Palpatine attached his spirit to.
Nice. So wait, he's been around this whole time?
Apparently attached to the Wayfinder, yeah.
Okay.
Well, didn't you read the leaks from last November? There were leaks, and I don't know if you've covered this, but the consciousness of Palpatine was what was in Snoke, and then that goes into Matt Smith, and Matt Smith becomes the Emperor.
That's what they say. They say that he reveals that he was the force behind Snoke. Movie. He was like, I was actually Snoke the whole time.
Wait, Matt Smith touches the Wayfinder or whatever.
Wait, Snoke is the Emperor?
Palpatine apparently somehow possessed some sort of alien or something, and that was Snoke.
So Snoke wasn't anything that existed. It was just it was just the Emperor.
Yes, and now we have broken another thing in canon. Because we already had an idea. We already had an idea of what Snoke was, and if you still subscribe to that idea, it makes absolutely no sense as to why Palpatine's plan would be go hide in the unknown regions and then come back. But it makes absolutely no sense. And we already know that Snoke was injured. The reason he was all messed up is a confirmed thing in canon. That it was during a battle with the Resistance that he got injured.
Okay.
So maybe Palpatine possessed a body that wasn't injured and then it got injured, but this is all getting very complicated. Now, the thing that everybody wants to know, Rey. Why is Rey evil at the end of the trailer? That is not Rey. That is either a vision or a clone.
Oh, come on. Clones?
Yes. And the evidence for this, and people are really going to fucking hate this, I'm telling you right now. This is Disney's way of going, hey, remember how you were all disappointed about The Last Jedi not telling us who Rey was?
Yeah.
We actually did tell you who Rey was. Remember the scene in the cave?
Didn't I say that?
In the mirror?
Didn't I say all those
in the mirror and she sees all the things?
Million Reys?
That's
She's
when they
cloned.
said, yeah, apparently she's a clone
She's just a clone of who?
of herself, of something. I don't know.
Wait, what?
She's just Rey. There really is no like big conspiracy. Apparently, it's just Rey.
Oh, all right. Let me ask you a question. We're not gonna. He's not. Okay. J.J. Abrams is not gonna do this thing in the end of this movie. He's like, I am your grandfather.
Oh no, I think that's exactly what they're gonna say.
Oh, come on!
I think that Rey is not really like a clone of somebody. I think she is some sort of like being that they created from the genetics of Palpatine and Anakin.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I honestly think that, because if you think about it, it all fits together when you think about it like that.
Come on.
Every little thing that everybody you could check it off.
Why is the mouth like the Darth Vader thing, and it shows her? Why is that?
Because they're trying to invoke the whole dark side thing with her. But
it's just nostalgia. They're trying to get you thinking.
But she's like a mixture of DNA between.
Now that's just my speculation. I don't have any evidence for that. But when you really think about it, though, like think about it. Think about that explanation, and then think about every question that somebody's asked about Rey. Why is she so powerful? She's a mixture of Palpatine and Anakin. Why is Anakin's lightsaber calling to her? She's got Anakin's DNA. Why is she so good with technology? She's basically a reincarnation of Anakin.
Well,
how come she doesn't have parents? She has no parents. She's literally a genetic project, basically.
Joe, I don't know why you're surprised. I remember, I think it was about a year ago, I told you what was going to happen in the movie, and you laughed. This is what I'm telling you. It's going to end right with there's going to be the Imperial fleet. Palpatine will take control of the First Order commanders. Finn will convert the white stormtroopers all back like the First Order stormtroopers. Finn will convert them over. The First Order will be an alliance between the remaining Resistance and the current First Order, minus the brainwashed generals. So Richard E. Grant, he's actually an Imperial working like undercover for the First Order. And more or less, at the end of the movie, the galaxy will be under the control of the First Order, except Kylo Ren and Rey will be together leading the First Order.
What?
Basically, I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
It's
what
going
about
to be
the Resistance?
The balance of the Force. The Resistance has like 9 people left.
Yeah.
And now that you've added the Imperials back, you've basically said...
But the First Order is evil, though.
Well, the generals are. So if you get rid of Hux and you get rid of a couple others, at the end of the day, you have to take home the message to 12-year-old kids that even bad people can be redeemed.
This is like worse than Last Jedi, though.
Well, wait though, because it gets better.
Oh,
because apparently, like, if these leaks are true, apparently Kylo Ren has gotten rid of Hux. He's like, you're done, get out, fuck you, I don't need you. And Hux is like, well, I'm gonna just leak everything to the Resistance because I want your spot. And
why wouldn't Kylo Ren kill him though? I don't understand that either.
Well, wait, hold on. It gets better because again, this is something that was again backed up in the trailer apparently because there's a shot that looks very similar to this. As a part of Palpatine's fleet that's out there, we have our next super weapon. It's literally apparently those Star Destroyers have like Death Star technology on them.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, come on.
This is all from legend. Literally everything that happened in this movie is from some legend story.
So wait,
like,
they're
it's
shitting
not even
on canon though?
Huh?
They're totally shitting on canon?
Some things are.
There's only so many ways. There's only so many ways you can wrap the whole thing up in 2 hours, and I think it would be boring to just be Resistance versus First Order again. It would just be Return of the Jedi again. I think the third party, the Imperials, is an exciting twist if they pull it off. So, if Matt Smith is Palpatine, like, you know, possessed Palpatine, that could be cool, but I do want to see Palpatine at some point. I do want to actually see Ian McDermott at some point.
Now, here's the real... Wait, let me just jump in on what Hayden just said, because there's actually something that's really frightening that's going around,
Yeah.
I don't know how to react to this.
Go ahead.
That poster that they leaked, or not leaked,
Yeah.
but they released, the one where it's Palpatine's face up there and
Yeah.
Rey and
Oh, the
Kylo Ren
toy?
fighting on the Death Star remains.
Yeah.
That picture of Palpatine is not a new picture. That is
It's
the
a toy.
picture from the Hot Toys box. Right?
It is.
So now
yeah.
people are saying, wait a second. If you didn't even take a picture of Palpatine for the poster, is Palpatine actually in this movie?
Oh shit.
Or is it just his spirit?
It is. It's just his spirit and his voice. He's not in the
And
movie.
somebody went as far as to break down the voice in the trailer when it says your journey is near its end. And there is convincing evidence to say that that's not even Ian McDermott.
But he said he's in it.
Well, he actually, at Celebration, they asked him, and he said they took all the dialogue from old movies. He said he didn't even know. He said he didn't even know that he was really in it.
Somebody said, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like Matt Smith doing an impression.
Of course, because this is why, Joe, this is why they've hidden Matt Smith, because he is the Emperor. That's why they've hidden him from everything.
Why can't they use Ian McDermott?
Because I think Matt Smith will probably sell more tickets in this day and age.
For Christ's sake.
And but then again, you don't exactly retcon Return of the Jedi with the Emperor dying if you don't actually bring the Emperor back physically.
So it's not really the Emperor?
No, it is the Emperor.
It's like Voldemort in the Horcrux in Harry Potter. It's his consciousness inhabiting an object.
Right.
And when the object gets a hold of you, it possesses you, and his consciousness takes your body.
But at no point in this movie is Matt Smith gonna turn into Palpatine or something. He's literally physically going to be Matt Smith in the movie.
100%. That's right. Yeah.
That's terrible.
But I told you back when the first trailer came out. I was like, everybody's saying Palpatine's in this movie. I was like, listen, it's not gonna be the way.
Why can't they do that though? I don't understand.
Because they killed his body was destroyed.
Oh my
gone.
God.
Did you could we put a heavy spoiler part in this section now?
Just put everything in here.
Sorry. Spoilers, yeah.
So this is what my understanding has been for about a year. Everything that's come out has proven everything I've ever talked to anyone about. You know how they're gonna be fighting on the Death Star, and it's that force flash. So every environment from every duel kind of flashes around them in that scene.
Yep.
So that happens. Apparently, it's after that. Yeah, the Wayfinder happens. Matt Smith and the Knights of Ren basically. They work with the Sith stormtroopers and the Imperial fleet, and they all turn on Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's fucked, basically. So Matt Smith is the Emperor. I think they get rid of Matt Smith near the end of the third act, and then the Emperor finally possesses Kylo Ren, who is the one he's wanted all along. He possesses Kylo Ren. They kill Kylo Ren. Then Kylo Ren has sort of this afterlife scene. You know, like Harry and Dumbledore in the Deathly Hallows, where he's in that white train station?
Yeah.
Ben Solo has the same scene, except with Luke. And Luke says that he's going to allow him to come back to life as maybe Skywalker. And this goes back to another theory, which is saying the whole reason that they devoided the name Han Solo of any meaning, they made the name Solo just a random name, is because they wanted Ben, when he came back from the dead, to be able to adopt the name Skywalker, because the name Solo is meaningless. So that's why they got rid of the meaning behind the name Solo, was so that he could be Ben Skywalker. And that's how it will end, is basically the rise of Ben Skywalker, basically reborn with the Emperor finally gone and killed out of his system. And he basically is the supreme leader of the galaxy at the end of the movie. And
So
and Rey and him together.
Like I said,
everything I said. It's
that people could come back to life from the Force.
No.
Did you read it's not that. It's they basically kill Palpatine's consciousness from Kylo Ren. He's unconscious more or less, and he has this sort of dream state vision. Him and Luke talk, and Luke says that you can go back or you can come with us and the rest of the ghosts. So maybe this is where we'll see the Force ghosts, all of them together, and he'll say you can either come with us or you can continue the Skywalker line. He comes back to life as Ben Skywalker. Him and Rey hook up, and then they live happily ever after, la-di-da-di-da.
Yeah.
That's basically the whole movie, and it's so obvious. You've got 2 hours. Of course, how much sense would it make that this new girl, Janna or whatever, is actually Finn's sister and Lando's Finn's dad? It makes sense because you've basically tied the whole family together. Now everybody's related. It all makes sense because before that, really, if Rey doesn't end up with Kylo Ren, she's just a random character connected to nobody in the Skywalker saga. It doesn't even matter if she's got random DNA because she's still connected to nobody who's existed before. Finn and Poe are nobodies related to nobody or have no connection to the saga. By basically giving Finn a connection to Lando, and that's probably why Lando's been away. He's probably been on the hunt for, all these kids he's been popping out with all these ladies over the last 30 years who've been snatched up.
God.
But that's probably Lando's probably been on the hunt
is?
for Finn. Well, they did say in the first leak when that Janna character, she was released, it first said that she was Finn's sister, and then there was the leak in April that she was Lando's daughter. So if you put them together, it sounds like they're both Lando's kids.
Okay.
I definitely think she's Lando's daughter. I don't know about the Finn connection to him because there's a lot of people saying that he might be related to a character from the novels, which would make a lot more sense. But
yep, okay.
But my thing is, though, at this point, does anybody even care about Finn and Poe anymore?
Not really.
I mean, I like them in Force Awakens, but
so does
Poe's the only enjoyable character, isn't he?
Does
I like
Poe
Poe,
blow up?
But
What's
Did
that?
they kill C-3PO? Does he blow up or some shit?
Apparently he dies, doesn't he?
I'm assuming. I think him and R2 are going to die in this movie. I really do. But
I think that leads to a bigger question, Chris.
Doesn't the Millennium Falcon get destroyed too?
We don't know about
out of all these leaks we've been reading, my biggest question to you two is I've read basically, and I think in my head I can put it down to a T now. I know exactly how this movie is going to go with full confidence. However, the one thing that's nowhere at all, and it's making me quite upset, is where the hell is R2-D2?
Yeah.
In the last movie of the saga, where is R2-D2?
Yeah.
Now, if there's a final confrontation between Kylo Ren and the Emperor, and R2 winds out and pops a lightsaber out of his little compartment and Kylo catches it Luke style, that would be awesome, but that doesn't explain where he is the entire movie.
Yeah, I could totally see a scene. Yeah. I could see a scene where R2 has Luke's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi because nobody knows where that is, and apparently it's still around. I could see him like when the Knights of Ren turn on Kylo Ren, his crossguard saber gets destroyed or he loses it or something. And then like R2 gives him the green one and people go nuts because that was a big, for some reason, that was a big complaint about The Last Jedi where they're like, why didn't he have his green saber? It was like, well, who cares?
Right.
I mean, we saw it in that vision, so that was enough for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've also heard that
like this is all like J.J. Abrams don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Well, tying this into the end from one other thing that I had heard that was a leak was that Palpatine, and this may also explain what that is at the end of the trailer with Rey, which I doubt, but they say that Palpatine's original goal was to possess Kylo Ren, like Hayden said. But the problem is that when Kylo Ren discovered Rey, Palpatine was like, oh, wait a minute. She's a lot stronger than him, or has the potential to be a lot stronger than him. And he, at one point, tries to possess her in this movie, but he can't because she's too closely tied to the light side. So he's like, well, I'll just possess Kylo Ren. And then
that does connect, Chris, to The Last Jedi because
it does,
Snoke allowed Kylo Ren to kill him because then Snoke, who was Palpatine, could just go and possess Rey later.
Right.
So it just shows the reason why Snoke allowed himself to be killed. He gave Kylo Ren the oversense of confidence that he was the supreme leader of everything. You know, if Palpatine was not confident that Kylo Ren could become the supreme leader of the galaxy in his physical form, would he create him to be the perfect host to take over? I think maybe Snoke needed to train Kylo to be the perfect host so that he could kill Snoke, so that Snoke's like, yeah, I trust that that's the body I'm going to take in my next form. So it does make The Last Jedi be that little bit more necessary.
But what are they going to do with Princess Leia in this movie? What are they going to do with Princess Leia? Is she going to die?
She's going to go on a holiday, then her and Ben are going to hug, and that's going to be the final shot of the movie.
Really?
Her and Ben are going to meet back up, and that will be the end. And everyone will cry, because if you think about Star Wars, the first movie was about Anakin leaving his mother, and the last movie is about Ben returning to his mother. It makes the whole story make sense from start to finish.
But they never shot that scene with her and Kylo. They're just going to put her in there.
That's not hard at all to do something like that. They'll use a stand-in. It can just be like in the sunset on Tatooine in the background or something.
Right. I could totally also see if Leia makes it through the whole movie. I think she's going to wind up being like the Supreme Chancellor or whoever is leading the galaxy now. Because
I can say that too.
It makes sense because you have, she's the daughter of Vader. She's the mother of Kylo Ren, who was the Supreme Leader of the First Order. She's the leader of the Resistance, which is now basically the Republic, since the Republic is basically gone. So with those two, like with Kylo Ren being like, I relinquish my title to her, she's obviously not going to be Supreme Leader Leia. She's going to be Supreme Chancellor Leia, and she's going to kind of unite the galaxy after Palpatine's dead and, the Empire's gone. And
but is that going to be definitively that he never comes back? Like he can never come back?
Oh, I would imagine that if your body is destroyed and your spirit cannot do anything anymore, you're pretty much.
But like he's not going to be tied to any other artifacts.
No, because
I think they'll destroy the Wayfinder. They'll destroy the Wayfinder.
Yeah.
Look, and what a perfect ending for Leia, right? Because what better name to call instead of doing the Republic again, you would not do a third, fourth Republic. You would call the New Order. You'd call it the First Order. If you were going to do that, it would be the First Order of the Galaxy, basically. And it really, the stormtroopers are brainwashed. And as Finn showed, you can be redeemed as a stormtrooper. So all you need to do is get rid of the generals in charge. And that's it. That's all.
And Phasma's not going to be in this again.
No, Phasma's dead. Phasma was a terrible character.
They've already replaced her with a new character.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But isn't she alive, though, in like animated form, or no? That's just... Phasma.
That's a prequel.
Phasma's dead.
Okay, totally.
She's dead.
All right.
Yeah, they replaced her ass with a new character that they're going to sell toys with.
Okay.
I think we'll agree, though, out of everything we've just said, whilst we're very confident we know the bulk of the film, the very ending, I still don't quite know, the ending scene they keep going on about.
So what is Poe going to do?
No, I don't know. Poe might just be a love interest of whoever to get the whatever, MacGuffin to whatever.
I could see Poe becoming if Leia is the Chancellor or whatever she's going to be, I could see him being like her military guy, like he's in charge of the whatever military or something.
What are they going to do with Billy Lord? Are they going to have her have a big role too or no?
Nah, no way. She's not a very strong
actress. She hasn't been mentioned at all.
You've got Finn. I think Finn is going to be like General Finn of the Stormtrooper captain. He'll be what Phasma was, the captain of the Stormtroopers. And I think Poe will be the general of whatever, be the general of the pilots of the TIE fighters, wouldn't he? And you'd have some sort of TIE X-Wing hybrid. That would be the ship. Basically like an X-Wing, but with the two wings instead of the four or something. I mean, you have to. It makes sense though. If the prequels is the dark side at the end reigning, and the originals is the light side reigning, you'd have to have the balance of the Force at the end of everything. It has to be. Otherwise, the trilogy serves no purpose.
They're running all the evil, like everything is tied to the First Order. That's weird.
Well, that's the thing though, is that I think what they're finally, and this goes back to that poem that was at the beginning of the novel. I think it was at the beginning of the Force Awakens novel, where it's kind of like what Hayden just said. It describes the prequels, the original trilogy, and the sequel trilogy, right? And it says the prequels, basically it was like the prequels ended in darkness, the originals ended in light, and then it basically is like the story must end in gray, which is why that whole gray Jedi thing became a huge theory for everybody when
like
Force
an
Awakens
in-between thing, you mean?
Yes. So I think what they're going to say is that Rey is obviously the embodiment of the light now. They're going to say that Kylo Ren is basically like the dark, but they're going to work together. And instead of creating the Jedi Order, which is probably what Rey is going to do if she doesn't die, I think that they're going to call them the Skywalkers, which is basically what they said in the Thrawn novel, where he said that on my planet, we don't call Force users Jedi or Sith. We call them Skywalkers.
Okay.
It's true, because if you actually think back to what Chris just said about Kylo Ren being the black, Rey being the light, Rey's dressed completely in white for the movie. It's not her little, like, it was kind of beige, like a little creamy in the Force Awakens, and she had grey on in the last movie. She's completely in white, and Kylo Ren's completely in black. So basically you meld those two together and you get a little bit of a grey tint. So for them two to come together, and if you really wanted to add a nice cherry on top, if they had a kid at the end, you'd call the kid Anakin, more or less. And it would be a child born of the light and the dark, which would be the ultimate chosen one.
I think that's exactly what they might do, because in the Legends canon, Leia and Han had a third son named Anakin.
Yeah.
Well, it was their second son, technically, but their third child overall. They named him Anakin. And
I mean, what a great way to leave it. I mean, you'd say you're
Yeah.
ending the saga, but if in 20 years you picked it up, you've got a bearded Adam Driver flying the Millennium Falcon, and you've got a girl or whatever called Anakin, who's the ultimate chosen one. And
A girl as Anakin?
Well, it would be a bit of a spin, wouldn't it? Apart from just doing the same thing again.
It's definitely something Disney would do now. Definitely.
Definitely a girl Anakin, yeah.
See, I like that ending. It's just how we get there is what worries me. It's like, what's going to happen in this movie? Like, and going through what we went through, it's like, that has a lot of opportunity to go real sideways really quickly.
Do you really think it's going to be that good the way making it out to be?
Yeah, but like if you think of like it looks like the movie looks a bit like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade from a lot of the cinematography standpoint. The adventure kind of has a bit of an Indiana Jones vibe. If someone read the plot to The Last Crusade to you, you'd go, "This sounds stupid. The Holy Grail, like eternal life, like it sounds ridiculous. Like a plane flying through a train tunnel, and it sounds stupid." But like if executed well, it could be fantastic. Like Revenge of the Sith. Like, a lot of the things in Revenge of the Sith were very silly, but fans love Revenge of the Sith for the epic moments. So, like, if they really pull on those epic moments in The Rise of Skywalker, like, if this lightsaber duel with the flashing around them of the environments, if that's great, this could be one of the best duels ever. And then, obviously, like, how emotional would the scene be with Luke telling Kylo Ren that he's been redeemed and sends Kylo Ren back basically into the real world? How good could the scene be of Finn actually converting the stormtroopers and all the stormtroopers turn, and you'd have like the white stormtroopers of the First Order facing off against the red stormtroopers? It is, but Chris Terrio, he does come up with some wacky ideas.
This ain't happening.
It's got to happen.
It's all about the execution, like he said. If they execute this well, it could be good. My one thing is though is so far everything that I've seen has been pretty lazy. So I'm worried about, this could all be great to us, but when we actually get into the theater, it's like, wait a minute, what happened?
I don't think we're getting
nostalgia. Is the nostalgia just marketing though? Is it all just to get people to feel a bit more at ease to get them back in the cinema?
Could be.
Whereas when we get there, it's going to be. It just feels 2 hours is not long.
That
is not long. Like to introduce Matt Smith and the Knights of Ren, to introduce the Sith Troopers.
Well, Matt Smith is the member of Knights of Ren, or is he? Where the hell is he?
He is apparently Kylo Ren's right hand man, his most trusted Knight of Ren, and he becomes possessed with Palpatine's consciousness.
So he's always been around.
Smith, but could you imagine like Matt Smith giving an A-class performance as the Emperor? That's better than Ian McDiarmid if he pulls it off.
I don't know if he can. I mean, I know he was Mr. Clever pretty well, but
I think he could do. I think Matt Smith would be, if you actually did a prequel, he'd be a great Emperor. Well, he's a great actor.
He does it. He's set. I mean, he's already in Doctor Strange too. So
here's one reason why. I mean, let's look at Ian McDiarmid in The Revenge of the Sith 15 years ago. That was a terrible lightsaber duel performance from Ian McDiarmid. There's no way 15 years after that you're going to pull out something that's going to be epic on an IMAX.
It has to be somebody younger, right? I know.
You need a Matt Smith because Palpatine, look how old and decrepit he was in Return of the Jedi. There's no way that he would want to revive that body. No way you'd want to revive that body.
Right, I know.
Because the reason Vader picked him up was because he was old and frail and tiny. Like, Vader just picked him up with two hands and threw him over a balcony. So, like, he does need a body. He needs a body, and I think Matt Smith is the stepping stone towards him finally taking over Kylo Ren. But at the same time, like, when we talk about redemption and, like, seeing things from perspectives and how they're going to redeem Kylo Ren, wouldn't it be funny, Chris, if the vision of Rey, because it looks like she's in the forest from Force Awakens in that shot.
Yeah.
What if they tell us that Kylo Ren's been kind of under this mind control the whole time and he sees Rey like that? That's how he sees Rey this whole time, as this, like, evil Sith Lord. Because Kylo Ren, he's not a Sith, is he? He doesn't believe that he's evil.
And if you look at Rey in that shot, I think she has yellow eyes. So
yeah,
she's definitely invoking like a Sith kind of feel. She even looks like Kylo Ren doesn't show any signs of like dark side degradation, which is what happens when you immerse yourself in the dark side for so long. If you look at Rey, if you look at that shot, she's like really thin and like pale.
Like robotic.
That's like heavy. That's heavy dark side degradation. So that shot would have to be like after Rey has been on the dark side for years. So if that's a vision, I wouldn't be surprised if that was like something Palpatine shows Kylo Ren, like, look, this is what she's going to be when I'm done with her.
Well,
Kylo Ren's like, oh shit. Like,
what if that's a flashback to Force Awakens and that is how he saw Rey the whole time?
Maybe.
Like, what if Kylo Ren, like, remember how he saw Luke standing over him trying to kill him with those evil eyes?
And he was all fucked up, yeah.
What if he sees everybody like that? What if he saw Han Solo like that on the bridge? What if he saw Han Solo?
Are they going to have any clips of Han Solo in this or no?
Yeah,
I heard that there's at least one.
Yeah,
is it like is it like a flashback or is it like a current
one of each
ghost or something?
Oh no, sorry. There's 3 scenes apparently. The first scene is there's a scene between Leia. It's a flashback with Leia and Han when they send Ben to Luke's temple, and there's also a scene with apparently Luke training Leia after Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
so there's a couple of flashbacks.
How are they doing that? They never filmed that.
No, but you just use a bit of CGI and Billy Lord and CGI and Mark Hamill.
Oh, Billy Lord.
Yeah.
Is going to be Leia.
It's not hard, and I mean, as I said, 2 hours. However, I see this movie having a lot of short scenes and sequences, like very quick, very fast paced. And like a flashback, remember like The Last Jedi, the flashbacks of Luke with Ben at the temple, I think it added up to like 20 seconds of screen time in the overall movie. So these flashbacks could be 10, 20 seconds, but you're going to see something. Like, didn't Vader have like, I think Vader had like 7 minutes of screen time in A New Hope, all up. So like, when you think about like how much you can cram in a movie, you can cram a lot in there if you want. Like Day of the Doctor. Think of how much they crammed into 1 hour in Day of the Doctor.
Yeah.
The Han Solo scene that I had heard was that he's apparently there when Luke tells Ben, like, you can either come with us or you can go back.
Yes.
And
yeah,
I was and I was thinking about this. I was like, how the hell does that work? But I guess what they're going to say, as weird as this might sound, is that Luke is basically so powerful that he can find somebody's consciousness in the netherworld of the Force and like temporarily bring them back, like into like a Force ghost kind of thing.
If we jump
even if they're not Force sensitive.
If we jump
so
back
Han
to the
Solo will go with him even though he's not Force sensitive?
I guess that's what they're trying to say.
It's a world between worlds kind of thing, and I think Luke has the power to like kind of bring him through temporarily, because in the original script for Return of the Jedi, Obi-Wan says to Luke that the Jedi, the skill that he's learned to basically bring his physical presence back to the physical world is something he can only do temporarily. So as a Force ghost, he could either bring himself back permanently to the physical world, or he could choose to leave forever. But to be a Force ghost, apparently, you can't do it for long. Like, you're in between worlds. You have to pick a side. So, like, I think Jedi, the power that Jedi have is not the power to live after death. It's the power to project themselves back in the physical world. Whereas everyone
they can come back from the chicken. They can come back to life. Then
they can't come back permanently. They can only do it for a little while.
Yeah. Obi-Wan says in the Return of the Jedi, the original script, that he says to Luke, I can come back permanently and help. And, like, I think by coming back permanently, he's saying to Luke, I can come back forever in this form if I want to. Or I can leave forever. But that's not
so
canon
he could live
anymore.
forever.
That's just a script.
He could live forever.
No, that's just in the original script from, like, 1981, which isn't canon at all. But I think the idea, like, the kind of principal idea there that Force ghosts can project themselves back into the physical world, and how I think all life does go to the afterlife, obviously, but like only the Jedi can project themselves in the physical world is kind of what's been kept.
The Sith can't do it because it has to do with them being like they are selfish and they only look inward and they worry about themselves. Whereas like the Jedi, you have to kind of look outward, and that's a big part of this. Is like you accept that you're part of something greater, so that you learn.
So Yoda can come back to life permanently and trade old and Jedi.
Who?
Yoda.
No, Yoda can't come back to life permanently. He can only project himself as a Force ghost.
Why him and not Luke?
Luke can't come back to life either.
Luke
So
could
come
project
back?
himself. Well, according to canon, they can't come back permanently. But George Lucas's original idea was that if they wanted to, they could. But that was abandoned in like the second draft of Return of the Jedi.
Okay, so they can't come back.
They can't come back. But like, I think the thing with Obi-Wan that was different was because Obi-Wan chose to kind of disintegrate and, turn to dust.
Oh, Yoda too. Yoda gave in to.
Yeah, his
And
physical form wasn't hurt. If someone actually got burned alive, you couldn't bring that physical form back because, like, the matter's
Anakin.
disrupted. But, like, a physical form that basically, turned its own matter into nothing could bring that, manifest that matter back at some point.
That's what I always thought, though. That's what I always thought, that because they gave themselves willingly to the Force can pop them back out.
Yeah,
but it can't. It's not the way that you're thinking, though. They can't come back in like a physical body and be like, "Look, I'm alive again." Okay. It's only as a Force ghost.
We got less than a minute. You want to create another one?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to create another one. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye for now.